Virality isn't luck. It's a formula. Take the first clip. A heartwarming puppy rescue. It hooks you with a single dramatic shot. But the brain senses something missing. It's a tease, not a story, until you see the structure underneath. Now, the second video, a viral optical illusion, plays out with two distinct elements. The brain processes them side by side, comparing the two halves of the image. It's engaging, but still feels like a puzzle without a solution. The audience watches, intrigued, but doesn't stop scrolling. The structure is incomplete, and the mind demands more. The third video, a political rant, begins with a bold claim, followed by a counterpoint, and ends with a third, decisive statement. Suddenly, the audience's brain lights up. The third element doesn't just complete the narrative. It triggers a dopamine hit. The mind craves this satisfaction, this resolution. It's the moment the video becomes unstoppable. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a pattern so deeply embedded in human psychology that it transcends culture, language, and even time. The brain isn't wired to process information in ones or twos. It's wired for threes. It's the natural rhythm of storytelling, the structure of jokes, the framework of laws, and the blueprint of viral success. But here's the catch. We only see the videos that obey this rule. The ones that fail to follow it vanish into the algorithmic abyss. This is survivorship bias in action. The internet rewards the three-act structure, and the rest are forgotten. It's not about the content. It's about the architecture. Take the viral video of a man falling off a skateboard mid-trick, landing perfectly on his feet. It's a single moment of awe. But it's not enough. The brain needs more. So the creator added a second shot, his stunned reaction. Still, it's not complete. Then came the third. His triumphant smile. Now, it's a story. Now, it's viral. The brain isn't built to hold on to more than 3 pieces of information at once without chunking them into a single unit. This is the Goldilocks zone of cognitive load, not too little, not too much, but just right. 2 elements create curiosity, but 3 create completion. It's the sweet spot where the mind says, "Ah, now I get it." This isn't just theory. It's the reason why the most successful ads, speeches, and even political campaigns follow this structure. The first element sets the stage. The second adds tension. The third delivers the punchline. It's the framework that makes content unforgettable, and it's the secret weapon of every viral creator. But what if you try to cram 4 elements into this structure? The brain rebels, feels like too much work. The mind starts to tune out, seeking the simplicity of the 3-act rhythm. 4 is the threshold where engagement collapses. It's the point where the audience stops listening and starts scrolling. This isn't just about videos. It's about the way we structure our thoughts, our conversations, and even our memories. The brain craves completion. It craves the satisfaction of a well-formed trio. And when we give it that, we create something unforgettable. But when we don't, we risk obscurity. Now, imagine if you could see beyond the viral hits. Imagine seeing the thousands of videos that failed because they broke this rule. They're still out there, buried in the algorithm's depths, waiting for someone to notice the pattern. The architecture of virality isn't just about luck. It's about understanding the invisible rules that govern how we think. The next time you see a viral video, ask yourself, does it follow the rule of 3? Is there a setup, an antithesis, and a synthesis? Or is it just another drop in the endless sea of content, waiting to be forgotten? The answer might just change how you create and how you consume. The architecture of virality isn't magic. It's science. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The question is, will you use it to create, or will you let it manipulate you? In the heart of ancient Athens, a young philosopher scribbles on wax tablets, his mind racing with the weight of human persuasion. Aristotle's rhetoric would later reveal a secret, one that would shape every speech, every advertisement, every viral whisper for millennia. He called it omni trium perfectum, the idea that 3 elements form the perfect structure for memory and emotion. This wasn't just theory. It was the first documented hack of the human mind. Centuries later, in a dimly lit laboratory, a man named Hermann Ebbinghaus stands before a stack of index cards, each bearing random syllables like BF or CAX. His mission? To measure the limits of human memory. What he discovered would shatter assumptions. The brain could recall roughly 3 items at a time without strain. This wasn't just about lists, it was the foundation of how information sticks. Ebbinghaus's work laid bare a truth. The brain's working memory had a hard limit, but what he couldn't predict was how this limit would be weaponized. The rule of 3 wasn't just about recall, it was about persuasion, a structure so simple, so natural, that it would become the blueprint for everything from speeches to slogans. The mind didn't just remember 3 things. It trusted them. Fast forward to the 20th century, where a man named Rosser Reeves sat in a Madison Avenue office, scribbling notes on a yellow legal pad. Reeves wasn't a philosopher or a psychologist. He was a copywriter, and he had a problem. How to make a dull product stand out in a crowded market. His solution. The unique selling proposition. A 3-word slogan that would change advertising forever. M&M's. Melts in your mouth. Not in your hand. 3 words. 3 promises. Instant recall. Reeves didn't know it at the time, but he had stumbled upon something far bigger than marketing. The rule of 3 wasn't just a trick. It was a language of the mind. Every time he structured a message with 3 elements, he was tapping into a psychological shortcut so old it predated written language. It was the difference between a forgettable ad and a cultural phenomenon. The brain didn't just remember 3 things, it wanted 3 things. Meanwhile, in a quiet university library, a psychologist named George Miller pored over stacks of research. His mind focused on memory's limits. His 1956 paper, The Magical Number 7, suggested the brain could hold about 7 items in working memory. But what Miller overlooked was the persuasive power of 3. His number was about capacity. Reeves's rule was about impact. The brain could hold 7 things, but it would only act on 3. Miller's work became a cornerstone of cognitive science, but it was incomplete. His focus on memory's capacity ignored the emotional and structural power of 3. The rule of 3 wasn't just about what the brain could hold, it was about what it needed to feel complete. Aristotle had known this 2,000 years earlier. Reeves had weaponized it in the 20th century, and the rest of the world was just beginning to catch on. The rule of 3 wasn't discovered. It was rediscovered. Each generation thought they were inventing something new, but they were merely refining an ancient truth. Aristotle's rhetoric became Reeves's slogans, became TikTok's viral hooks. The structure was timeless, but its applications were endless. And the mind? It was always waiting for the 3rd element, hungry for the satisfaction of completion. But why 3? Why not 2? Why not 4? The answer lies in the brain's ancient need for patterns. 2 elements create curiosity. What comes next? 4 elements create confusion. Too much to hold. But 3? 3 feels like a story. 3 feels like a promise. 3 feels like home. It's the structure of a joke, the rhythm of a poem, the architecture of a lie. The mind doesn't just accept 3 things, it needs them. Aristotle's rhetoric wasn't just a book. It was a blueprint. Reeves's slogans weren't just ads. They were psychological anchors. And every time we see a viral video, a political speech, or a product launch structured in 3s, we're witnessing the same ancient truth in action. The rule of 3 isn't a coincidence. It's the invisible architecture of human persuasion, waiting to be uncovered in every era. Imagine a world where every message, every story, every piece of information is structured to exploit this ancient pattern, where the brain's natural hunger for 3s is turned into a tool for control, where the rule of 3 isn't just a trick, it's the foundation of how we think, how we believe, how we act. This isn't just history, it's the architecture of our minds. We upload videos like this every day. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Television. From Aristotle's lectures to Reeves's Madison Avenue offices, the rule of 3 has been the invisible thread weaving through human communication. It's in the structure of our myths, our laws, our very language. And it's not just about persuasion. It's about how we understand the world. The mind doesn't just accept three things. It needs them to make sense. And that, perhaps, is the most powerful manipulation of all. The rule of three isn't just a pattern. It's a language, and we've been speaking it for millennia, unaware of its power. Every time we hear a speech, see an ad, or read a headline, we're being guided by a structure older than civilization itself. The question is, can we see it? Can we hear it? And most importantly, can we break free from it? Inside a sterile MRI lab, a volunteer lies motionless as glowing blue lights trace their brain's neural pathways. The screen flickers with spikes of activity, each pulse a whisper of thought. What they don't know is, their mind is about to be tricked. The researcher presses a button. A voice booms through headphones. 3 little pigs, 3 little pigs, 3 little pigs. The volunteer's eyes flutter. Their brain lights up like a firework at the third repetition. Dopamine surges, locking in the pattern. This isn't just repetition. It's a cognitive shortcut. The brain system 1, lazy and efficient, craves patterns. 3 items. Instant recognition. 4. Overload. The prefrontal cortex, usually the skeptic, falls asleep at the wheel. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel laureate, called this cognitive ease. The brain doesn't want to work, prefers 3. 2 feels incomplete, 4 feels like homework. The rule of 3 isn't just a trick. It's the brain's natural language. Now, imagine this in a courtroom. A prosecutor lists 3 damning pieces of evidence. The jury's brains light up like scene 2. The 4th? They barely register. The rule of 3 doesn't just sell products. It convicts minds. The closure effect. It's the brain's reward for solving puzzles. 3 steps in a story. The audience needs the 3rd. Missing it leaves a void. That's why commercials, speeches, and even political rallies end with a 3rd punchline. The brain craves resolution. George Miller's magical number 7 study proved humans can hold 7 items in working memory. But the rule of 3 is not about capacity. It's about chunking. 3 items become 1. The brain's memory limit bypassed. fMRI scans reveal something even stranger. When a speaker hits the 3rd beat, audience brains synchronize. Neural activity spikes in unison. It's not just listening. It's coupling. The speaker and the crowd become one entity, locked in rhythm. This isn't just psychology, it's biology. The brain's default mode network, responsible for daydreaming and social bonding, activates at the 3rd element. The speaker isn't just talking, they're hypnotizing. The audience isn't just listening, they're feeling. What if the next time you hear 3 points, you're not just listening? What if you're being engineered to feel, to remember, to act? The rule of 3 isn't just a pattern. It's the architecture of your mind's vulnerability. The prefrontal cortex, our rational overlord, is being hijacked, not by force but by ease. 3 steps, 3 reasons, 3 lies. The brain doesn't resist. It embraces, because resistance feels like work. And the brain, it hates work. Every time you hear a slogan, a speech, or a sales pitch, ask yourself, where's the 4th? The missing piece. Because the rule of 3 doesn't just sell, it erases. It replaces complexity with simplicity. And in doing so, it rewires your mind. The next time you see 3 points, pause, breathe. The brain's default is to accept. But you can choose to see, to question, to resist. Because the most powerful weapon against manipulation isn't knowledge. It's awareness. The rule of 3 isn't just a trick. It's the language of the mind's weakness. And now, you know the code. Use it wisely. But what if the 4th element isn't missing? What if it's hiding? The brain's vulnerability is its strength. And the rule of 3 is just the beginning. The brain's architecture is ancient. Its tricks, timeless. But so is your ability to see beyond them. The next chapter. The 4th element. The one they never show you. The brain's architecture is ancient. its tricks, timeless, but so is your ability to see beyond them. The next chapter. The fourth element, the one they never show you, a neon-lit office in Silicon Valley, humming with servers and caffeine. A single TikTok video explodes across screens worldwide in seconds. Behind the screen, an algorithm whispers, hook, value, call to action. This isn't just a formula, it's a psychological cage. Every video follows the same three-step dance. First, the hook grabs attention like a fishing lure. Then, the value promise unfurls like a map to treasure. Finally, the call to action slams shut the loop. This isn't just marketing, it's a behavioral conditioning lab. Politicians weaponize the same structure to sell lies. 3 repeated claims become truth in the mind's echo chamber. Even prices play by this rule. A fake middle option nudges buyers toward the premium choice. Machines now write content following this blueprint. From viral videos to political campaigns, the rule of 3 rules. A dimly lit office. The hum of a laptop the only sound. A researcher's fingers hover over the keyboard, staring at a news headline flashing across the screen. 3 key reasons why this policy must pass. The cursor blinks. She exhales, rubbing her temples. This isn't just another article. It's a pattern. Everywhere she looks, the same structure repeats itself. The brain's reflex to complete the third act is being weaponized. She types a single question into her notes. What if we fight back? The screen glows with a single word, typed in bold. Fourth, the camera zooms into a close-up of a smartphone screen, swiping through endless social media posts. Each one follows the same rhythm. A bold claim, a counterpoint, then the inevitable third punch. The brain's dopamine hits like clockwork. A notification pops up. You just completed a viral structure. The researcher's jaw tightens. This isn't accidental. It's designed. She swipes harder, faster. But the cycle never breaks. The algorithm knows exactly how to trigger that satisfying click of completion. And she's trapped in the loop. A classroom setting. Students hunched over tablets, their eyes glued to screens. An instructor's voice echoes through the room. Notice how this argument follows a 3-part structure. It's not coincidence. It's psychology. The students scribble notes, but their focus is fractured. One student raises a hand, confused. But why does it always feel so right when it's 3 things? The instructor pauses, then smiles, because your brain craves closure, and they know it. The realization hits like a punch to the gut. The students are being trained to recognize the pattern, but not to resist it. A dark alleyway. Rain slicks the pavement. A figure steps out of the shadows, holding a crumpled newspaper. The headline reads, Local officials push for 3 major tax cuts. The figure unfolds the paper, scanning the fine print. There's a 4th cut, hidden in the margins. They circle it in red. This isn't just about recognizing the 3. It's about seeing what's missing. The figure mutters to themselves. They want you to stop at 3, but the truth is always in the 4th question. The camera lingers on the red circle, a stark contrast against the black ink. A fast food restaurant. The clatter of plates and laughter fills the air. A customer points at the menu. Look, 3 options. Small, medium, large, but the large one's the obvious choice, right? The cashier, a young woman with a tired smile, nods. Yeah, but the medium one's just there to make you pick the large. The customer's eyes widen. The cashier continues. It's not about what they say. It's about what they don't say. The 4th option, the one they never mention. The customer's mind races. The menu isn't just food. It's a lesson in manipulation. A quiet library. Shelves stretching into the distance. A researcher flips through an old book, their fingers tracing the pages. The title reads, The Art of Persuasion. Inside, a passage stands out. The mind seeks patterns, but patterns can be lies. The researcher underlines the words, a slow smile spreading. This isn't just about questioning the 3. It's about rewriting the rules. They close the book, determined The battle isn't just about seeing the pattern. It's about breaking it. The camera follows their hand as they open a blank notebook, ready to write their own defense. A digital interface, glowing with lines of code. The screen reads, Structural Awareness Drill. Tag the setup, antithesis, synthesis in real time. A timer counts down from 60 seconds. The researcher's fingers fly across the keyboard, tagging each element as they appear on the screen. The interface lights up green as they complete the drill. The timer hits 0. The screen displays, drill complete, pattern recognition. 92%. The researcher exhales, a sense of empowerment washing over them. This isn't just about spotting the 3. It's about training their mind to see beyond it. A bustling city street, neon lights reflecting off wet pavement. A person walks past a billboard advertising a product. 3 reasons you'll love this. They pause, looking at the billboard. Then, they pull out their phone and start typing a message. I want to see the 4th reason. They type. The message sends. The camera lingers on their phone screen, a single word flashing on the screen. Resistance. The person smiles, knowing they've just taken the first step. The battle for their mind has begun. A dimly lit room, a group of people gathered around a table. One person holds up a single piece of paper. This is the rule of 1, they say. Instead of 3, we dive into 1. We ask, what's the single source? What's the single truth? The group listens intently. One person raises their hand. But won't that take longer? The presenter smiles. Yes, and that's the point. The brain is trained to stop at 3. But the truth is always in the details. And the details take time. The room falls silent, the weight of the revelation settling in. A lone figure stands on a hill, overlooking a sprawling city. The sun sets behind them, casting a golden glow. They close their eyes, taking a deep breath. The city below is a maze of lights, each one a potential manipulation. But they are no longer a passive observer. They are the guardian of their own mind. The figure opens their eyes. Determined, the battle is not over. It has only just begun. The camera pulls back, revealing the vast expanse of the city. A symbol of endless possibilities and endless vigilance. A close-up of a hand reaching for a smartphone. Fingers hovering over the screen. The screen displays a notification. You've unlocked the 4th question. The hand pauses. A slow smile spreads across the face. The screen dims, and the camera fades to black. The final words appear on the screen. The battle for your mind has only just begun. Hi there. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Tomorrow's video will reveal this secret. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Shushing face.